Wizards announced we're heading back to Tarkir in April 2025.
Oh, crap. That means...
Dragons, baby. Yeah.
We've got 4 cards for you to pick up. And no, they're not all reserve list. One of them is even a common. Get these before the prices spike. Whether you're a collector or you're a player, why spend more? Stay with us.
Dragons are coming for you, Lily.
Tap 2 mana, casting protection from asshole.
What is your first card that you think people should start looking at?
Well, the first card is, I'm not sure if it's an STD or a Magic the Gathering card, but it's called Rivas of the Scale.
Card number 1, Rivas of the Scale.
There's Rivas back from Mirage. Go ahead and read this card real quick.
Keep in mind, guys, one of the reasons that this is such a good pick is because it's a reserve list card with 1 printing, of course. Way back in Mirage, 95, 3 colorless and 2 red for a 3/4. You may choose not to untap Rivas of the Scale during your untap phase. Tap, gain control of target dragon. If Rivas becomes untapped or you lose control of Rivas, lose control of that big boy.
Now, historically, this card has not been that pricey, and we've had clearly numerous dragons come out before. So why are you thinking to keep an eye on it now? Like, why are you saying go ahead and pick up some copies?
Well, we are going to be returning shortly to the plane of Tarkir, which is a plane that is abundant with really good dragons, and everybody knows that in the Magic the Gathering community, dragons are really popular. And whether you're a casual player or whether you're a competitive player, you have options on the commander table to take advantage of dragons. If you want to go the more CEDH route, you have Dragon as your commander. If you want to go the more casual route, there's other things that you could choose. However, this could be a very useful card, and even in the event that this card isn't, even if it is underutilized, I suspect that if you get ahead of the curve of other speculators on this card, you're going to be able to sell this card for a very huge profit margin.
All right, let's take a look at said profits. I'm hiding the price here, so let's run over here to TCG Player. Look at lightly played, 85 cents. Let's get a couple of filters in here. Got the near mints up already coming down. Let me get out of the lightly played and let me just do some near mints so we can look at, it's going to be that cheap. Let's go to near mint. Look at that. They're saying 75 cents even. Now you got your shipping, right? So really we're looking at about a $2 card. This is just one of them, and then they instantly go to about $3.50, but not too much. We did another video called 5 for 5 on the reserve list. So we gave you 5 reserve list cards that cost about $5. Once again, here we are seeing an old reserve list card for about $5. They're not that pricey. And you know, Fallon, one of the things that I like about this card is why he's cheap, but everything is so cheap right now, you know, and it's probably because we're all hurting for money. We're all broke. But, you know, this is something that you look at it and go, it's 75 cents. That'll never be worth anything. I think it's 75 cents. It'll never only ever be worth 75 cents again. So why not pick up a couple of these things? What do you got to lose, right? It's a few bucks. You know, if the card goes up to $6 or $7, fine. You want it for your deck. Why pay $6 or $7? You know, pick it up right now while it's dirt cheap. I like him. Let's take a look at our MTG stocks and our pricing scale. There's our bump, all-time high. Oh, well, we'll look down here, right?
Yeah,
look at that. At one point, it was $20. All-time low, 30 cents.
So, I mean, like, you look at a card like this, and I've said it before, if you do a simple risk-gain analysis, what do you have to lose and what do you have to gain? I mean, there's clearly positive EV to be gained on this card. You have an opportunity to go, you know, if we want to just say this card is $1 and the all-time high is $20, you have an opportunity to go 20x. And there's not much more downside. And there's going to come, you're not going to lose money on this card. As long as you're smart about accumulating the card and you're paying attention to the shipping prices, You may want to go with TCG Player Direct and find a seller that has 10, 15 copies available for one low shipping price, and that might give you your best opportunity to flip them on the market 1 to 2 weeks before the release of the new Tarkir playing set.
Zerolin of the Claw.
Now our next card's a bit more expensive, but still pretty cheap. $5-10. It's seeing a little bit of a spike right now, but I have a feeling that might be temporary. But this has also been a card I always thought was really cool. Thal, give us the next dragon anything people should go after.
Cerulean of the Claw. You know, no funnies, but it's a reserve list card, also printed in Mirage. This card is much more fitted for being in the command zone as a casual commander, and it would perform pretty well in like the 6, 7, 8 power level. It is 3 and 2 red for a 3/4, 1 and 2 red tap, search your library for a dragon card, put it into play as though it were just played, shuffle your library. That creature is unaffected by summoning sickness, and remove the creature from the game at the end of the turn.
What I like about him is that, you know, you're basically tutoring for a dragon every turn. You can attack that turn, and then that's not the only thing that you need to do with your turn, right? So there's plenty of ways where you can actually sack a creature, draw a card, or whatever else, right? So after it attacks, you know it's going to go away anyway. There's plenty of cards you spend a couple of mana on, and you can get another value out of it, and now it's in your graveyard, and it's not exiled. And then we'll talk about that because we have an honorable mention dragon card that also deals with that. So to be able to go grab dragons out of your graveyard. So let's take a look over here on TCG Player saying near mint 1477. All right, but that's not really what's going on. All right, so here is about $10-11 is what they're happening right now. And now let's look at more data. So over the course of 3 months, it's showing a downward trend. As we keep saying, everything's going down. So viewing more data, lots of activity though on this card. They're showing these things all the ones that were under $10, of which there were numerous ones, have been bought up and then starting to come down just into August. You know, there were 7s and 8s and things like that, right? Here we go in the beginning of August. Here's a $5 card. Somebody, early Liberty Weekend, someone's trying to buy these all out. So someone is getting the message. Looking at our trends of Cerulean of the Claw on MTG stocks, all-time highs, $42.49. All-time low, $1.80. Which is back in 2014. This high was actually in June 13th of 2022, right? So here we are right in that June area of 22. So this card is still looking at, even today, with a little bit of its pop-up. And on eBay, you can find them for about $8, $9 as well. So that does seem to be the price, shipping included. Has a lot of room to run there. That's a 5X. I don't know if it'll quite go back to 40, but what do you think, Thalid?
There's no reason that it can't hit all-time highs again. And I like this card even more because it fits better in the command zone for casual play. And as we know, there are more casual players than sweaty players. It's a fun card and people like it. And you can see the stats right there. It's hit $40. That there's not much more room to the downside. And if you want to pick up some light play copies that are, to be honest with you, probably near mint copies, you can see them for, I've seen them for $5 to $8.
Rivas of the Claw.
So this third card is a bit of a riskier spec, but it's from a recent set. So let's take a look at this, and then Thalid, you'll have some comments on this. Rivas of the Claw from Dominaria United. Card is only a couple of dollars. It had a high of about $8, but look at what the card does, right? Add 2 mana of any combination only to cast dragon creatures, only 3 mana as a 3/3. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, being able to, there's cards like Scion of Dragon that allows you to grab tutor for cards, dragon cards out of your deck and throw them into your graveyard. And then you can start casting them with Rivas. He's really good. Plus, he was just printed in Dominaria, and in the April set, it's Tarkir. So really, Rivas shouldn't be reprinted there. I don't know how they look at the lore when it comes to the precons or like the commander decks, if they release any, that they'll probably release with it. But really, with as recently as they printed him, and because of the lore, they shouldn't print him again. And if they don't, at this lower price, we could probably see him double or triple up, maybe a bit more. Now, let me ask you, Thalid, with Dominaria United, you know these things more. Was these packs popped a lot?
No, Dominaria United was somewhat of a commercial flop. They didn't get open quite as much. There was an Amazon dump. This was when Wizards was printing way more of the product than they should have been printing. And they were cluttering their warehouses, and as a result, they did a big Amazon dump. I believe at one point collector boxes for these were around $105, which is way below distro cost. But these packs weren't open in mass, and I believe that's why Shieldred is probably still like an $80 card, because people just aren't opening the packs. Maybe in the future that might present an arbitrage opportunity for opening the packs, if it maintains that kind of price. But yeah, not a lot of these packs are open.
Let's come over here to TCG Player. Near mints, $1. Right? Now you got shipping, so call it under $3. $2, 50, 60 cents. Go ahead and get these. Because it's a newer card, these are all showing one-ofs, but you might have a better opportunity as well in your LGSs and everything else of maybe finding stacks of these things. Not 50 of them, but you can maybe find a set. eBay, same thing. So it's a cheap card. Apparently it was even a little bit cheaper in June, and now it's going up, but I mean, it's pennies only, right? So this is a card I think that if you're going to be playing a dragon deck, he's really good. So this would be one to get. Looking over at MTG stocks, his all-time high was $8 just under, and an all-time low of 65 cents. So he's sitting at almost his all-time low. But if we're going to now start having a dragon-focused set with Tarkir, so you spend $5-10, get a set of these things, maybe 5 or 6 of these things. See what happens.
Personally, I think that the first Tarkir block was such a flop that I think that when they return to Tarkir, they're going to try to pump the set a little bit. They're going to pump some juice in the set. So we're probably going to get some really good, powerful dragons.
Dragon's Approach. Ooh, a common.
Dragon Approach deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may exile Dragon Approach and 4 cards named Dragon Approach from your graveyard. If you do, search your library for Dragon creature card, put it into the battlefield, and shuffle. A deck can have any number of cards named Dragon's Approach. So this breaks the rule of 1 card in a commander deck, and obviously it is very closely themed to dragons, and it benefits dragons. So this is a card that if you can get them for a really cheap price, you might want to buy a stack of them, because I believe there's going to be, the closer we get to the release of the new Tarkir set, there's probably going to be a lot of people wanting to buy 10, 15, 20 copies of these. So buy lists are going to be clamoring for them. So in the event that you can get them for a good price, and keep in mind, this is like, if you see here, they're showing $2 for a common.
A common, right? So this was from there's a Mystery Boosters 2, and then so Strixhaven was its first printing for a common. That's really something. So, but maybe one of the reasons is that it was up is because people would throw 20 in their deck.
Yeah, you could play as many copies as you want. So, with that out the window, then the whole supply demand thing changes. That people don't just need one; they need X amount.
And on MTG stocks, we were looking at this. It's been kind of flatlined. It's been holding around this $2.50 mark. Let's see what's coming in here. Let's see. It's all-time low is 188. Look at that though. For a comment at one point, apparently it was $36. Ah!
I would say that in the future, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks before April 2025, that's when you're probably going to be able to extract the most value out of these cards. You don't want to wait too late. You don't want to wait till after the set comes out.
All right, any final thoughts?
I'm just going to apply some ointment to my Rivas, and my wife is going to try to reach my Cerulean.
Please like and subscribe, or I'll cast Reoccurring Nightmare on you.
Magic.